Good afternoon, everyone. Please find a seat. We'll be beginning shortly. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be starting shortly. We ask that you please find a seat and clear the aisles. Would everyone please rise for the processional?
Good afternoon. I am Dejanique Willie. As we say the pledge, we remember Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. On January 20th, 1986, we celebrated his birthday for the first time as a national holiday. Dr. King was the leader of the modern civil rights movement, espousing nonviolent civil disobedience as the way of challenging and changing oppression and injustice in the American society. Though Dr. King was murdered by an assassin's bullet on April 4th, 1968, his dream for a just America for all Americans lives on in each of us today. Please join me in our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Please remain standing for our national anthem.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated. Good afternoon, students, parents, families, friends, and distinguished guests. I am Martin Conradi, your principal of Genesis High School. Welcome to our winter commencement exercises and the formal recognition of the milestone these graduates have achieved. We are most proud. Buenos tardes, alumnos, padres, familias, amigos y distinguidos invitados. Soy Martin Conradi, el director de Genesis High School. Bienvenidos a la recepción de invierno y el reconocimiento formal del logro que estos graduados han alcanzado. Nos sentimos muy orgullosos. Please help me in recognizing our distinguished guests. First, our school board members. President of the school board, Mr. Ashley Muchnick. Mr. Chris Dillon. Our superintendent of schools, Mr. Barry Edwards. Dr. Lila Olivares, our associate superintendent for curriculum and instruction. Dr. Christy Lee, our associate superintendent of communications and community relations. Panay Leifer, our associate superintendent of human resources. And I know that out in the audience we have the principal of Bastrop High School, Crystal Gabriel, is here, as is the associate principal of Bastrop High School, Tiffany Pearson. And hopefully I'm not missing anybody. I am so sorry. Also out in the audience, we have the principal of Cedar Creek High School, Bridget Cornelius. I'm sorry, Bridget. Thank you very, very much for coming out on this cold and blustery day. We will definitely make it well worth your time. The graduates of Genesis High School are bound by the requirements set forth by the Texas Education Agency and the State Board of Education. Our graduates enter the workforce and military, and many pursue post-secondary educational opportunities. I applaud each of our graduates for demonstrating the will to succeed. If you haven't noticed, we have a very large class. Never in the history of Genesis High School have we had so many winter graduates. So the class of 2022 from Genesis High School is off to a great start. We have 71 new graduates for this year. At this time, special recognition is in order for several of our students. Genesis High School administers the TSI assessment, which is a college placement test. And in order to take classes at Austin Community College or the University of Texas at Austin, students have to meet a minimum required score on that test, and it is hard. We have several students from Genesis High School who are currently working on their TSI, and we have several that have mastered it. Students, as I call your name, please stand and remain standing as we acknowledge your accomplishment. College ready in reading and writing, Jatavia Brown and Andy Adams. Andy Adams. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. As we speak about college readiness, we have two students who have passed all of their TSI exams, and they are TSI compliant in reading, writing, and mathematics. They are Adrian Alaniz and Dejanique Willie. Thank you. You may be seated. This fall, we also have 4 students who are graduating right now who are already they've already matriculated into Austin Community College and have earned at least 9 hours of college credit. So I want to call their names out, and I want them to stand up and be recognized. Andy Adams, Adrian Alaniz, Jatavia Brown, and Dejanique Willie. Thank you. Genesis High School students have the opportunity to graduate on the Foundation High School program with endorsements. And students, as I call your name, please stand and be recognized. So these students, these 4 students that I'm calling right now, they've graduated with more than 26 credits, and they have one of the 5 endorsements, and I'll call out that endorsement. Andy Adams, Arts and Humanities. Jatavia Brown, Arts and Humanities. Johnny Poston III, Multidisciplinary Studies. And then Dejanique Willie, Multidisciplinary Studies. Thank you, students. Mr. Edwards, Mr. Muchnick, and members of the board, as principal of Genesis High School, I certify these students receiving their diplomas today have fulfilled all of the requirements set forth by the Texas Education Agency and the Bastrop Independent School District for graduation from high school. At this time, Mr. Edwards and the Board of Trustees are going to stand and recognize the graduates. I will be handing each of our Genesis High School graduates their high school diploma. This is the moment that you all have been waiting for.
Faith Bernicia Carter. Serena Blevins. Tristan Skylar Clark. Alicia Berry. Ashton Garcia. Javier Mejia Aguilar. Suki Martinez Vargas. Thalia Kiana Levar. Jennifer Lizeth Rodriguez. Alondra Guadalupe Sanchez. Adrian Alanis. Natalie Melissa Madrana Arias. Destiny Lynn Lucio. Andy Lee Adams. Colby James Walter Ratner. Paisley Nonmacher. Benjamin Lee Pidcock. Devin Alexander Mills. Isaí Adiel Ayala Landaverde. Jordan Michael Phillips. Isabel Narcisa Sanchez. Jessica Garcia Castellon. Hunter Troy Ebner. Marco Maldonado. Edith Giselle Granados Jaimes. Destiny Ann Deshay. Jatavia Corinne Brown. Jose Isabel Hernandez Perez. Joey Villegas. Angel Rodriguez Sandoval. Libni Vasquez Mojica. Melanie Arisdelsi Rodriguez Rojan. Damian Gomez. Joel Elias Chavez. I got it, yeah. Isai Martin Gonzalez. April Viviana Castillo. Dante Love. Uriel Cedillo Lopez. Eric Corona Perez. Osvaldo Martinez Flores. Maritza Lopez. Deshanique Teely Denise Willie. Estefany Lopez Cifuentes. Maria Alicia Vargas Sierra. Virginia Ramona Hernandez. Alexandra Jaimes. Neftali Aileen Cervantes Ramirez. Eduardo de Jesus Hernandez Soto. No. Lance Robert Gallegos. Eduardo Giovanni Martinez Leon. Jose Fernando Hernandez Godínez. Ruperto Sebastian Lopez Jr. Guzman Gonzalez. Stephen Guzman. Irvin Perez Flores. Uriel Efrain Osorio. Juan Javier Robledo Gonzalez, Jr. Nick Pineda. Celso Jesus Mora Vasquez. Paradise Heavenly McMarion. Anaí Gallegos. Zachary Lynn King. Avery Jean-Paul Berra. Oscar Garcia Reyes.
Ladies and gentlemen, fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, families, and friends, I'm so proud on behalf of the administration, the faculty, and the staff of the Bastrop Independent School District. I am pleased to recognize the class of 2022, Genesis High School. You may now move your tassel to the left. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you, graduates. You may be seated. Graduates, this is one of my most favorite days to celebrate graduation on. Congratulations on your first step. Today's graduation is my 18th as principal of Genesis, and I really did count those. Though I truly appreciate my role as an administrator and as your principal, at heart, I am a history teacher. And I have one last lesson for you today. We began today's commencement by remembering the first national celebration 26 years ago of Dr. King's birthday. As you contemplate your accomplishments, and you plan for the future, I'd like you to remember Dr. Martin Luther King and what he means to us, to the United States of America. On April 12th, 1963, Dr. King and other leaders of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, that was King's civil rights organization, were arrested and jailed as political prisoners in Birmingham, Alabama. They were in Birmingham for an organized boycott of the local merchants and their stores during the Easter holiday. The Southern Christian Leadership Conference and the Alabama Christian Movement for Human Rights knew that a coordinated, massive boycott of Birmingham's economy would put tremendous pressure on Alabama to end segregation, the moral evil of separating African Americans from whites and making African Americans second-class citizens. Why Birmingham, Alabama? Alabama in 1963 was the epicenter of segregation and white supremacist beliefs. The famous photographs documenting the use of water cannons and attack dogs on children and young adults, photographs that galvanized the nation's resolve to end the moral evil of segregation. These photographs came from Birmingham. Birmingham was a tremendous risk for Dr. King. As I noted earlier, Dr. King was jailed, and during his imprisonment, he penned an open letter to the people of the United States. This letter entitled Letter from Birmingham Jail, has become a political statement of such importance to us today that it is regarded as the most important document of the Civil Rights era. I'm going to read some of that letter to you. Here's what Dr. King had to say. These are his words. I wish you had commended the African American sit-inners and demonstrators of Birmingham for their sublime courage, their willingness to suffer, and their amazing discipline in the midst of great provocation. One day, the South will recognize its real heroes. They will be the James Merediths, and with the noble sense of purpose that enables them to face jeering and hostile mobs, and with the agonizing loneliness that characterizes the life of a pioneer. They will be old, oppressed, battered African-American women, symbolized in a 72-year-old woman in Montgomery, Alabama, who rose up with a sense of dignity and with her people decided not to ride segregated buses, and who responded with ungrammatical profundity to one who inquired about her weariness. My feet is tired, but my soul is at rest. They will be the young high school and college students, the young ministers of the gospel, and a host of their elders, courageously and nonviolently sitting in at lunch counters and willingly going to jail for conscience sake. One day, the South will know that when these disinherited children of God sat down at lunch counters, they were in reality standing up for what is best in the American dream and for the most sacred values in our Judeo-Christian heritage, thereby bringing our nation back to those great wells of democracy which were dug deep by the Founding Fathers in their formulation of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. And this, graduates, is Dr. King's challenge to us, to you and to me. We must always stand up for what is right, and we must not forget our shared history. And to do this, we must be courageous, for it takes great courage to extend the American dream and our sacred values to all people in the United States. You are 17, 18, 19 years old, and you sit on the brink of the rest of your life. You're graduating from high school, and for the first time in the last 15 years, no one, not your parents or the state of Texas, can tell you what to do or where to be. You are, in fact, free. Normally, I get applause for that from you all. So I'm going to ask the question, you know, when you got a bunch of 18, 19, 20-year-olds who are completely free, what could I possibly say to them now that would matter? I'm going to try, okay? I'm going to try. In addition to the words of Dr. King, which are far more important than what I'm going to say to you, I'll turn to the business world for inspiration. In his speech to the graduating class of 2005 at Stanford University, Steve Jobs, and Steve Jobs is one of my idols, all right? He's the guy with the Apple computers. He observed, death is very likely the single best invention of life. It's life's change agent. It clears out the old to make it clears out the old to make way for the new. Right now, graduates, the new is you. But someday, not too long from now, you will gradually become the old and be cleared away. Sorry to be so dramatic, but it's quite true. So Jobs says, your time here is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Graduates, it's your life. It's not your mom's or your grandpa's or your teacher's, it's yours. What will you do with it in the time that you have? Ultimately, each of you will seek to establish a career for yourself and your family. Some of you will gravitate towards further schooling in trade schools, colleges, and universities. The pathway to a career may point some of you to the military or directly into the workforce. As you make these most important decisions in your future, I want you to remember the words of another university guy, a guy by the name of Steve Plank, very successful businessman, Stanford University, a lecturer at the University of California in Berkeley. He's also an inventor. He's fond of reminding us, and this is his quote, "People talk about getting lucky breaks in their careers. I'm living proof that the lucky break theory is simply wrong. You get to make your own luck. The world is run by those who show up, not by those who wait to be asked. Show up and make yourself what you're intended to be. And when the showing up gets difficult, and it is going to get difficult, it's difficult right now for a lot of people showing up. Denzel Washington, in his address to Dillard University in 2015, stated, "Fail big. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big, but remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. I try to give myself a goal every day. And is money the key to success? Well, Denzel goes on to say, you'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. I don't care how much money you make, you can't take it with you. It's not how much you have, it's what you do with it. So while you are on your knees in the morning, this is Denzel speaking, say thank you. Say thank you in advance for what is already yours. True desire in the heart for anything good is God's proof to you sent beforehand that it's already yours. When you get it, reach back, pull someone else up. Each one teach one. Don't just aspire to make a living, aspire to make a difference." Graduates, I want you to listen to and to hear Dr. King and find the courage to stand up for what is right. It's going to be tough. And I can't think of any better advice as you walk across this threshold today. I would ask that as you endeavor to show up in life and create your future, please remember those teachers who have made a difference in your life. Thank you, Ms. De Leon, Mrs. Rofel, Ms. Zoda, Mrs. Sturka, Coach Tucker, Mr. Whale, Ms. Lopez Robles, and Mr. Perez. And we would be very remiss if we did not thank Mrs. Gomez and Ms. Parks. Thank you to the PAC staff. Actually, before I say my final goodbye, I have to say one more thing. All right? Miss Adams, stand up. She didn't know that this is coming. Miss Adams has been working with me now for 4 years or 5, and it's probably been the longest 4 or 5 years of her life. I want to apologize. It is my pleasure to tell all of you that her daughter is one of the graduates today. Andy, wave. And it was such an honor for me to have Sean call her daughter's name at graduation. It is truly an honor. Sean, thank you. Mr. Edwards, Board of Trustees, thank you for your participation today. Congratulations, Genesis class of 2022.